Here we go. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Matt Villegas. I am a student physical therapist. So today I've prepared a little bit of a more special lecture, I guess. But basically, I'm going to cover a little bit about the habits of highly effective people and then how to get things done and sort of the cross between those two amazing books, Stephen Covey and David Allen. So, got my phone here with some handy dandy notes. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to share. Got my iPad on the side, so I'm glancing over every now and then just to check. So, basically, where I want to start off is the why, the mindset, because the way you view the world and your personal work life, how you go about doing things, how you view things really does matter, and how you go about managing these things matters as well. So it's not strictly related to administrative duties or anything like that. I'm a student physical therapist. There's definitely applications for being a student, but also translates into your life because, like it or not, pretty much anything we do, any type of work we do, related to business. So there's always ways to be better, ways to be more organized, and ways to free up our time and be able to do the things that we really want to do. Okay? So, I'm going to start off here with the 7 habits. There's a nice, handy little link in the video description for these resources so you could see exactly what I'm looking at. I've included for you animated YouTube, like really short clips that I think it's like 5 minutes. I just watched it again today, going over what exactly the 7 habits are. But like I mentioned before, it's really important you understand the mindset and what it is that you're trying to accomplish, what it is that you're trying to do. So if I had to summarize from my standpoint about what the 7 habits is really trying to focus on, it's more like an aerial bird's eye view down, looking at your life, your personal life, your career, and how you want to fulfill your purpose. So it could be some abstract thing for you. I don't know what yours is, but mine is obviously related to physical therapy because I'm a student physical therapist and serving people by optimizing movement. So that's my like vague abstract purpose, but actually fleshing that out a little bit more. So in terms of this 7 habits of highly effective people, that approach is starting with like these abstract ideas and then having your mission, your purpose, and sort of having everything flow from there on down, which is pretty neat, pretty cool. And it's important that first and foremost you do it your first time. Feels pretty weird, not gonna lie, it feels pretty weird, but in terms of your mission, your purpose, be very authentic, very genuine about it, and don't be afraid to go back later to change anything because this is like your foundation. If you're going to build a house, you want to build it right, so lay that foundation right. And then on the other flip side of the coin, you have getting things done. So David Allen, I really like, I included a link to his YouTube video about his TED Talk, and it's pretty good. I rewatched it today. It's still really awesome and really applies. So if you feel like you're trying to fight fires and you don't have free time to think about your mission, getting things done is probably your best bet for doing something right now, because that in my opinion, really is the magic that frees up your time, the way that you look at tasks. And basically, what it is that you do is you have everything that's in your brain, on your mind. You get a piece of paper, notepad, pen, write down every single thing that's in your head, lay it all out there, and bring that internal, external. Have this sort of transition. And by being able to see for yourself what it is that you're thinking of, every single thing that's in your head, which, mind you, is going to be a lot, having a much clearer view and different perspective there, and being able to prioritize from there. So with getting things done, it's actually more of a bottom-up approach, which is pretty fascinating. And as a student, it's actually really good because in order to survive in PT school, and I've already made it through my first 2 years, on my third and final year now, but in order to survive, you really have to be organized. You really have to understand what it is that you're being tested on, what it is that you need to learn, and how to approach basic cases with patients and what types of things you're trying to look for, having this systematic approach. So getting things done is a really nice way of getting organized. And what's really cool, I put a link in. There's a quick reference card, which is pretty awesome. And basically, what it does, I'll show you here on my phone. It's kind of blurry, but you can take a look for yourself. Is like this flow chart, this algorithm for, you have a task, you have something on your mind that was on your notepad and you're looking at, and you go down the list and you say, what do I do with this now? What type of thing is it? Is it a task that I can do immediately and then just do it off my mind, done, that's it? Or is it a little bit more convoluted than that? And is it a project? Is it something that is a little bit more involved? And honestly, this applies to everyone, not just my profession with healthcare, which really needs to be much more organized for better patient care than just being emergency care. This applies to anyone, including like if you're doing videography or digital media, anything, okay? So sometimes one of the coolest thoughts that you wouldn't recognize is that even though something's on your mind, like really you're not acting on it because maybe it's a favor that you asked a friend to do, and you honestly don't have to put on, you don't have to be that person who puts on those rubber band bracelets because that's supposed to magically remind you about something. You can have this system set up in place where you don't even have to think about the fact that your friend is doing some type of favor for you and you need that hit by a certain deadline. So there's ways to go about doing that. And I would highly recommend looking at the Getting Things Done, watching the TED Talk. The TED Talk is really good. And getting yourself, your mind organized so that you understand the different tools that are available. Like if you went to Office Depot right now and you looked at different tools like folders, binder paper, a big giant calendar, like there's a lot of stuff in the store. Do you really need all of it? No, but you just need to know how to use practical things so that you can do the bare bones practical things and get those out of the way, clear your head and your mind so that you can think about the things that actually matter. Not like in my case, being a student, not like worrying if like when is that date again that I have to get some certain shot, some vaccination for my health records or something, something like that. You really need to have systems in place so that you don't even have to think about that. And basically, the way that works, just with my approach, I use a more digital example, and then I sort of included uh, the apps that I use, OmniFocus and Evernote. But basically, you look at either tasks or like a calendar with a place you need to be, like physically, or it could even be like a webinar, online webinar, phone call, what have you. But you need to understand whether or not something goes somewhere. So having that quick reference card that I'm looking at really helps to understand how to use that tool. So where this whole like talk discussion comes in is really looking at both the top-down approach with the 7 habits of highly effective people. You want to know what those habits are, go watch the quick animated book YouTube video. It's really good, super quick, gets a point across. And then on the flip side, getting things done with David Allen with the bottom-up approach so that you can free up the time, be a little bit more productive, and get to that point where you can actually think about the things that matter, your mission, your purpose, why it is that you do things, because honestly, that's the foundation of why you're going to even bother working on a project that requires an intense amount of investment of your time, of your hard work. So, with that, just want to explain a little bit about using paper and some of the examples that I had being a student. So you could check out the digital stuff that I use. It's pretty high level. I like using it because I have my smartphone with me everywhere, so it's just easier to manage. But you're always more than welcome to use like a passion planner, which is awesome. I remember when that was a Kickstarter, or some other type of notebook where you're able to have this resource where you can write stuff out and stay organized. Whatever it is that you do, whatever system it is that you set up, you really need to be focused, need to be able to hone in on your mission, your purpose, whether or not all these tasks are like things you need to get out of the way, coming from both sides, but being, having those blinders on appropriately so you can give the appropriate amount of attention to the thing that you're focusing on right now. So for me, it's trying to focus on that live stream and then glancing at my iPad to see if there's any comments, or on my phone to look at my notes, but focusing on you. So, blah. Oop. Okay, Google Drive's causing me problems. Let me get back to there. There you are. Okay, so with that, real case example, I'll finish up here, is that, the most practical example is like moving out, moving in, physically relocating to another place, which for me was moving from San Francisco Bay Area to Las Vegas area for school. And there's a lot of steps involved in that, and it can be very stressful to move. Pretty much everyone's had to deal with that, unless you're like in high school right now. But like, you will have to deal with that sometime in your life. So it's a very big plan, and the biggest point I want to hammer in with David Allen's Getting Things Done is you're leaving no stone unturned. Nothing is too mundane to be written out on that notepad, because you need to completely clear your mind. That way you can look at what it is that you wrote and then prioritize and organize those things. So in the case of moving out, it's determining the dates for your lease, the security deposit, your finances. There's so many things that go into that, and then physically actually moving, and if you need to call upon the help of friends or family and follow up on those phone calls to remind them that you're moving out, there's a lot that goes in. So for projects of that nature, in terms of getting things done, write everything out. In terms of the 7 habits of highly effective people, knowing how to communicate properly, understanding your mission, your purpose, and that everyone's on board with, hey, you're going somewhere. So it takes a lot of practice to actually use these principles, but once you narrow those down, you become a productivity ninja, and you do feel much more peace of mind and relief by actually going through these steps in order to be quote unquote more successful, by spending less time on these mundane things, by having like this specific way that you do things, this system where you just don't have to worry about, oh, did I do this, do that? What the heck was this rubber band bracelet for? Not having to worry about any of those things, and like actually freeing up your time doing those things, getting those taken care of, and being able to focus on the things that actually matter in life. So that's really the main point I want to hammer in with all of this discussion. So if you have any questions at all, you can always hit me up. I'm always just a Facebook message away, Snapchat, or YouTube message, whatever. And you can ask me about this, because basically the main reason that I really got into this was, like, it's a little bit difficult to pinpoint where, but after I finished college, and in this period between college and between going to a physical therapy program, I knew for myself that I really wanted to step up my game. And one of the things I was looking at was just, I don't remember how it popped up on my feed, but things about success and how to just be better. So it sounds abstract, but I can tell you just from experience and actually trying these things that once you do it, you're going to have an amazing experience. And feel free to share your thoughts, share your victory stories and struggles about trying to actually do any of these things. And I personally would say that actually reading these books is a worthwhile investment. It's really not that expensive, like what, 20 bucks ish, 20 to 40 bucks for these 2 books. They're great to digest, think about, consider for your success, for what it is that you want to do, which I know everyone varies. You're all my Facebook friends or YouTube watchers, but feel free to share what it is that you want to do. Really looking forward to all the victory stories coming, and I'm most of all looking forward to starting my 3rd and final year of a DPT program, physical therapy, and actually seeing patience. So it's been a long time coming. I'm going to leave this off at here. I know I've been rambling on for a while, but anyways, thank you very much for tuning in. I will see y'all next time. Adios.